What it do, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I finally wanted to go ahead and bring you guys a wrap up of quite a few different items that I have tested out primarily last month in the month of June when I was doing my makeup challenge where I was wearing makeup every day. I was able to test out so much more makeup than I have in the past. It also is summer for me, so that allows me to have a little bit more flexibility with wearing my makeup and like taking my time getting ready for the day, all of that stuff. But all of those disclaimers out the way, if you are interested in seeing some of the products that I have recently got my finished thoughts on, and then of course knowing those finished thoughts, let's just get into it. Alrighty, so typically how I do these videos lately this year is I group all of the products by the specific category, and then I'll give you like the one product in said category that I would highly recommend. I don't have a lot of like foundation and concealer, so I'm actually going to just group those two categories together. And once again, still recommend just one. So we'll start with the foundation. I have no primers to talk to you guys about today. The foundation that I want to talk about is actually a tinted moisturizer, and this was one of the tinted moisturizers that I picked up from YesStyle. This is the Hemish BB Moringa Ceramide tinted moisturizer. It does has SPF 30, and this is in the shade 31 Deep. So for Asian Pacific Islander month, I wanted to do a full face of makeup by Asian Pacific Islander created brands, and I got quite a few things from YesStyle. This was one of the two foundations that I picked up. This really works for my skin. Now it is slightly too deep. I do tend to kind of sometimes prefer to go deeper than lighter. Either way, I can generally make it work now because of my, love of bronzer, which can of course warm something up and deepen it up overall, but also because of how I wear certain concealers, I can lighten foundations up. So I just lightened this up just under the under eye and the other places that I like to conceal with a lighter concealer, and I felt like this wore really, really nicely on my skin. It does, in my opinion, have quite a bit of coverage. It's not like that really thin light coverage type of tinted moisturizer. I would say this is a solid medium, high medium to full coverage type of tinted moisturizer. It was really, really nice though. That is the perfect kind of amount of coverage for me. I love a nice medium coverage, and like I said, it looked smooth. It blended really nicely. I tend to reach for this with a sponge, but I have used a brush and I thought it worked the same as well. Nothing really to complain about when this came with this product. That's why I was able to review it so quickly, because I kept reaching for the actual foundation. And so yeah, I think the undertone is good enough. It's not the best for me, but I do prefer a neutral undertone. If I have to choose between neutral and like cool or warm, I will generally choose the neutral because I can just manipulate that undertone a little bit better. But yeah, the only qualm is that it's just a little too deep, but I don't think they had a shade one step down, so I had to just go with this one and hope for the best. Next is another product that I had during Asian Pacific Islander month, and this is from Kofi. This is an Indian American owned brand, I do believe. I know it's an Indian brand, but I do believe the owner is Indian American. The shade that I have is Faluda Fizz, and this is their concealer, if I did not say. This is nice. I just think that this is quite thick and very, very full coverage. As I said time and time again, I do prefer a medium coverage. So personally for me, this is too much coverage. For you, it may be enough. There also is, I want to say, like a corrector element within this actual product that I just particularly don't need. And that honestly might be what throws me off with this product, is because it also corrects. And I'm so used to seeing, a little bit of my little dark circles and all of that jazz. It just throws me off. But it is extremely creamy. Like I said, it's very full coverage. I wouldn't say there's anything bad about this product. It's just not the perfect product for me, at least not right now. I definitely am leaning more towards medium to lighter coverages, and because I felt like this was so high coverage, it was just too much for me. And then last but certainly not least is a product that I actually recently got sent from Influencer and Smashbox, and this is the Halo Healthy Glow 4-in-1 Perfecting Pen. Now, I believe that they kind of tout that you can use this product in any way you want, as a concealer, as a corrector, as a foundation, whatever. I feel like this is too much for me personally to use as a concealer. It is quite thick, and there's a difference between these two thicknesses. This is thick, but in a creamy way. This is just thick. She is just thick, and I felt like I really needed moisture from a sponge or something to really blend this out in a way that I would like under my under eyes. So absolutely not the product for me under my under eyes. Now, using this as a concealer for like spot concealing, I definitely can see that. And I did prefer personally using this as an actual foundation. I just felt like it gave me so much coverage that that was just the route that I was gonna go. Also, it was easier to like blend because it was a bigger surface, and because I'm used to using a sponge in that way, and I'm okay with foundations being thicker because the area of my face that I put foundations, it's not as delicate. Your under eyes are extremely delicate, and if you don't take care of them and if you put heavy products on them, you can get those bumps and stuff, and I get those very easily. So I could definitely see me getting those bumps with this particular product under my under eyes. Everywhere else though, I liked it. I liked the product. It's nice. Is this my end all be all? No. And if I didn't say, I have this in the shade T10N. Once again, I do prefer a neutral undertone if I have to choose. It's just a little bit easier to manipulate that undertone. And when it comes to this category, I would honestly recommend this Hemish. This is the one that, like, looking at them, I want to actually reach for this over the other two. Like I said, all three products are good, and they all were created for different reasons. And I could definitely see using this as a no makeup look, very similar to how I was using the Rim concealer when I was just spot concealing and then putting some powder. I could definitely see me doing that with this because it is thick, but you know, just in general with how I've been wearing my makeup now, and just overall, I would want to reach for the Hemish. So we have, let's go with bronzer. Yeah, let's do bronzer. I have only 3 cream bronzers to talk about. One I picked up myself for a second shade, and this I've talked about numerous times, so I'm not going to go too far into it. This is the Rare Beauty On the Horizon bronzer. This is the shade that she recently released that is in the deep range of her selection, and it just has a yellow based undertone. So that's why I wanted to pick it up. If you did not know, I have self-classified myself as a neutral olive warm leaning undertone. So anything yellow based, I'm running for it. And this was just something that I loved the formula. I already knew that because of the previous shade that I have, which is in True Warmth. So I just wanted to try this particular shade. This shade is not perfect for me. It's a little bit too light. I wouldn't even say light, but it's a little too close to my skin tone. So it really doesn't look apparent when I apply it, specifically on camera. In person, I can see it, and I can definitely see me getting use out of this in just like an everyday full face, or just in like a no makeup type of situation. If I just really want to bronze up or whatever, I can definitely see this like in that element, but on camera, it's just not going to be worth a cut. So yeah, there's that level of like what you expect on camera and what I expect in person. And you know, there is that. So I like the formula. I like the shade. It's just not perfect. If it was a little bit more deeper, it'd be perfect for wearing it whenever I want. But because it's so close to my skin tone, I would probably rarely wear this on camera. Then the 2 other bronzer sticks that I have are actually from the same brand. These are from ColourPop. I got sent these by a friend of mine, and she sent me the 2 darkest shades in the range. So Shell Beach and Manhattan Beach. Manhattan Beach would be the shade that I would recommend to you if you are my skin tone and you want something that is dark enough obviously to work once again everywhere, whether you do photography, social media, stuff like that. You're really going to see that depth on your skin tone. This does have more of a neutral undertone, so keep that in mind. But if you are somebody who doesn't mind it being closer to your skin tone and you actually prefer that, and once again you are my skin tone, then I would recommend Shell Beach. This is closer to my skin tone. You can see a very small difference, but it's not great. And if I had to say, kind of ranking these by like how you can see them on my skin, least likely to see them is Shell Beach, then you have On the Horizon, and then you have Manhattan Beach. So if I had to choose between these three, honestly, I still would choose On the Horizon. I just love this formula. I love the undertone. And for me, the undertone will definitely always be out the actual depth of the shade. I didn't say, but these are extremely blendable, extremely creamy, which is beautiful, very easy to apply. You can use it just straight on the cheek. It does not like take away your foundation or anything like that. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with these, but just know that the undertones are a little wonky for me. This Manhattan Beach is quite neutral, whereas I found that this Shell Beach, at least on me, had like a more rosy type undertone. So yeah, either way, like I said, I would still honestly, personally for me, more so reach for the Rare Beauty. And you know, if you want to use the Rare Beauty but you just really don't like that specific shade, then I would definitely tell you to look at True Warmth. That is another shade in the range that I have in my collection, and I have videos showcasing all four of those cream bronzers, whether it's a long form or short form video, and I will try my best to link down subsequent videos that are relevant down below. And I actually talked about those two formulas again in my most recent bronzer hunt video, talking about my top 10 cream bronzers that I would recommend personally in my collection. Let's go to blush, because that is another category that I have quite a few products in. Let's go ahead and get the big hitters out of the way. I picked up 2 additional shades in the Half Magic Cheek Fluff formula. I have numerous videos wearing these and also showcasing them on my skin tone, once again, both long form and short form. And if I have the time, once again, I will link those down below. So the purple one is Only Drama. The pinky one is Sexual Frustration. I really enjoy this formula. I love the colors that I picked up. I have these 2 and also Magic Brownie. I will definitely be like keeping an eye out to see if this brand continues to extend this range. I would love to see them come out with a cream bronzer range with this formula. I'd be the first one to try it, the absolute first person to try it, because this formula is great. It's blendable, it's extremely pigmented, it's opaque, it's really great. And for something of this light sexual frustration shade to actually show up on my skin tone, that takes a lot. So I'm very happy. And I've also used that particular formula to do the under the eye blush technique that people have been doing lately, so you can definitely get away with doing that with that type of formula. The last cream formula that I have to talk to you guys about is the By Mario Soft Pop Plumping Blush Veil. I have this in the shade Rose Crush, and this is the shade. Now, I did do a short the very first time I used this and you did not see anything. And I hate that that was like the first impression, because that's not how I feel. I definitely had to take off the like coating, if you will, with this product, and of course use my favorite blush brush. But once I did, this is a beautiful, beautiful pinky blush on my skin. It is a lighter coverage that you can build up, so I do appreciate that, and I love this formula. I really, really do. This formula and using this product has made me very much reconsider the bronzer. I actually have that in my loves list. I've been eyeing that multiple times now. I would love to get another shade or 2 of this formula. Typically for me though, when it comes to kind of wanting additional shades, I wait until the brand does a sale, or I can get the other shades somehow, some way on sale. And then I'll kind of get any and all shades that I'm really interested in. So I'm definitely interested in getting some more shades by the By Mario Soft Plump. And then of course, even interested in the bronzer shade as well. But I'm waiting for a good sale. I'm waiting for a good sale. The other two blushes that I have to talk to you guys about are both powder formulations. So the first one I'm going to talk about is from Benefit. This is the shade Butterfly. I'm 99% sure that I picked this up during the 21 Days of Beauty, and I don't love this. So this, on my skin tone at least, is more of a blush topper than a straight up blush. It is slightly shimmery, but it's not opaque. It is very kind of sheer, and I am not a sheer cheek person. It's just not how I roll. I want there to be pigment. If I'm gonna take the time to put blush on, you gonna see my blush. It's gonna happen. So for me, this is just not a love. It's not. Is this something that I'm gonna like immediately get rid of? No, I definitely can see me getting use out of it, and I can it is a good product. It's just not the perfect product for me. So once again, this is Benefit Butterfly. And then last but certainly not least is the Scooby-Doo collaboration with Glamlight. I got this one, which of course I think was the only blush duo available. This one I believe is for Velma, and I believe this one is for Daphne. And I love this. I love the formula. I love the two different shades. This pinky blush, it is a beautiful, beautiful shade. It warms up on my skin tone, and it just works. It works beautifully. This has made me want to kind of go back and get quite a few more of the Glamlight cheek products, because I really, really enjoyed this product to the point where I had to keep putting it back in the bin and taking it out because I wanted to use it every day. So this is definitely a banger that I would highly recommend. And to be honest, I would recommend any of these other than that Benefit blush. But if I had to be true to me and give you guys the one product from this category that I would recommend the most, it is going to be Only Drama from Half Magic. I've used this so much, even more than the Glamlight blush, which I've used that a lot too. So really enjoying the cream blushes and powder blushes depending on what they doing. So yeah, very happy for this category. This next category is going to be predominantly highlighters. I have one cheek product that has a combination of products, so I want to talk about that first, but then we will jump into the highlighters. This is the Kaja Play Bento in Mocha Mellow. So this has a powder blush, which is the first tone that you see. Then it has a highlighter. And then last at the bottom, it has a cream bronzer. All three of these formulas are great. They're all great and fantastic. The powder blush blends into the skin. Even though it is a matte, it's not a dry matte from like 2017. It really blends in and looks seamless. The highlighter is beautiful. It's a beautiful kind of natural bronze on my skin tone. You can blend it in, and it is opaque and also beaming. And then this cream bronzer is super pigmented. It blends nicely. It's nice. I really enjoyed this bento box. I would definitely recommend it. I believe that I picked this up because this was a new shade. So if you've previously been interested and you saw that there was a shade that was going to work for you, I would say go for it. I don't think this is going to go too much deeper than me though. I would say for this product, maybe 2 or 3 shades deeper than me, and that's going to be the cap. This bronzer is quite deep though, so who knows? Who knows? I believe I've already done a short. I did something showcasing this. If I didn't do a short, I'm definitely going to, because this is definitely something that I should showcase to you guys, but highly recommend this in the event that you are interested. I also picked up from Adept Cosmetics their Cottrell White palette, and this palette had 2 cream highlighters and 2 powder highlighters. It is crazy, but I prefer the creams and this one. This one I think is just too deep for my skin tone. I think it would look beautiful for a nice, deep, rich skin tone like a Nima Tang. I think would be great for this one. This is just too deep for my cheekbones. I just did not like it at all. This one is a little light, but it works. I can blend it in and make it work. But these are the two stars of the show for this particular palette. So the cream highlighters are Volta and Gem Harda. Those are really, really pretty. I love this palette for those. And then of course the one powder. I would have appreciated if there was some form of flap or something over the creams to ensure that they don't dry out. Who knows how long they'll last in this kind of packaging. I'm sure the more you keep the packaging closed, the longer they'll last. But yeah, definitely keep that in mind. I would say, especially because I only like 3 out of the 4 shades, wait for this to be on sale. Adept doesn't do a lot of sales, but they've been doing some sales lately, so I would say wait for that. A product that I picked up during the Sephora VIB sale was the iconic London Kissed by the Sun So Cheeky like highlighter. This is beautiful. It's a very lit from within seamless highlighter. It's not going to be the beaming highlighter like I have on my face today from Rare Beauty. This is going to be a little bit more natural, especially because the shade is so much closer to my skin tone. But I truly enjoy this shade. Since purchasing this, I have actually considered picking up some other shades that are going to be more of like a blush topper or a blush shade on me. I didn't pull the trigger once again because when I'm pulling the trigger on those extra shades, I really want them to be on sale. But that's a really nice, beautiful, creamy, smooth formula that I would definitely recommend. I also picked up this Natasha Denona Super Glow. I don't remember how I've had this. I think this was one of those products that I pulled from my declutter bin to try to use again. I realized that in retesting this, it's not the product that's bad. It was just that the shade was not a favorite for me. The shade's not a love. Is it a good product though? Yes. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep this in my collection because at the end of the day, I can get use out of this. Who knows, maybe in 2 years, I'm going to love a gold or want a gold. And I already have this. So that's my opinion on that. And then the last highlighter that I want to talk about is the only liquid that I have to talk to you guys about, and this is from Juvia's Place. I have this in the shade Golden Hour. I know I did a short on this because the short included this and the cream blush or the liquid blush that I have from them. I love this product. This is such a fantastic liquid highlighter formula. You don't need very many dots. You can use this not only as a highlighter by itself, you can use this with a liquid blush to create like a glowy blush type situation. It's really, really nice. I will say for me, sometimes I did find that this seeped into my foundation. So I prefer to use this over powder and not under. I just felt like under powder, it kind of just seeped into the foundation. Like I said, the foundation aided, and then once I put the powder on, it didn't look like I put anything under. So that's what I would recommend personally with this product, but I really did love this product. Highly recommend it. And if I had to say one product in this kind of true highlighter section that I would recommend, it would be the Juvia's. This would be the one product that I would recommend. Obviously, I didn't include the Kaja in this option, but I would highly recommend this as well. So there's that when it comes to the highlighters and the like one true face palette. I have a few eye products outside of eyeshadow. I will be doing an eyeshadow palette roundup of like the last couple of eyeshadow palettes that I've used, so do stay tuned for that. But first, the one that I want to talk about is this cream kind of jelly-ish much shadow in the shade Bronze Brocade. This is a beautiful one shadow look for me. I will say that when I have used this, I have still reached for something to give me like some pizzazz, whether it's a little bit of shimmer, glitter, whatever. But this shade works beautifully on my skin tone. I could definitely see me featuring this in my video that I'm going to be doing for my membership, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, very, very beautiful bronzy tone. Once again, this was featured in that Asian, full face of Asian makeup. So check that out in case you are interested. I also have this liquid shadow from About Face. They call them eye paints, and this one is in Fractal. This is another kind of neutral colored eye paint, and it's really nice. The applicator is quite pointed, which I appreciate, because then you can really direct this product onto where you want on your eyes. It is very much a neutral but sparkly eye product. So I didn't do it, but I definitely could see me putting this bronze, more metallic product down as a base and then putting this on top. I did put like an eyeshadow primer under this, and I felt like that was the best application method. So do keep that in mind. But these two could be definitely a match made in heaven. They're both that like neutral brown base with something special to it, and this could just add the perfect kind of sparkle to this more metallic one, and I would be satisfied with my base. Two other beautiful kind of one shadow look products that I have been testing out are these Dazzle sticks from KVD. So one is in the shade Electro Bolt 2.0 and the other one is in the shade Flash Storm 30. Both of these are beautiful, beautiful one shadow looks. You guys have seen me apply these time after time. And basically what I did is I would take my Give Beauty brown, I'd throw that in the crease, and then I would put one, all, some on my eye. That's how I was able to test these out. These are beautiful. I actually showcased, I believe it was Electro Bolt again, because I was going through my videos and I saw an eye look that I just fell in love with, and I realized that I threw this on my lids. So I definitely did that look. I believe that was the like ending of my makeup challenge video. So I will try once again to link that down below. Otherwise, just go to my videos and you guys will see all of these products featured. But fantastic formula again. Once again though, I do put an eyeshadow primer down first and then I put these on. I do the eyeshadow primer first before all of these products because I have oily lids. So I find that without that, my oils will break these products down very quickly, and that's just disappointing. So that's why I put eyeshadow primer down. But if you have drier lids or maybe more normal lids, you may not have to do that step in particular. Okay, so the last kind of organized collection that I have is lips. I have quite a few lip products that I have been testing out. So let's just, oh, this is a cream blush. I completely spaced and did not put it in. This is a liquid blush from Juvia's Place. This is in the shade Coral Rose. This is a beautiful, beautiful, more neutral toned rose on my skin tone. Once again, very similar to what I said about the liquid highlighter. I'd recommend putting this on top of powder. I did put it under, but I felt like it did not do what I wanted it to do. So I definitely recommend putting them over cream or over your powder. And then of course it also does determine based on what application method, whether you're using a sponge or what type of brush you're using. So I really loved this. I could definitely see me getting another shade in the future. Once again though, I'm waiting for a sale, and Juvia's Place does a lot of sales. I just tend to buy Juvia's Place from Ulta now. So there is that. I would still recommend though my Half Magic out of all of my blushes. So there is that. Coming in with the first lip product I'm going to talk about is this Lawless Forget the Filter Lip Plumping Smoothing Gloss. This was in a set that I picked up during the Sephora VIB sale. I think this is fine. I think it's a nice gloss. I think it's nice. Is this revolutionary? Am I going to run to pick up a whole bunch of shades like I've seen other people do? No, but I love the size. This will be perfect for some of my smaller purses. I recently just picked up a purse from Zara, so I'm very excited to throw this in there. But for me, it's nice, but I'm not dying to have a bigger size of it, so I probably will not pick it up. Next is a lip duo that I truly fell in love with, and you guys loved my short. So this is from the Glam Light and Scooby-Doo collaboration again. This is the Velma lip kit where you have the darker kind of brownish pink situation, nude, and then you have the orange with like gold shimmer involved lip gloss. I really loved this lip duo, and as I said in all of the times that I feature this, if you're somebody like me who likes a brown lip combination and you have some form of brown lip liner, whether it's the Makeup Revolution that I always talk about or even the Makeup Forever that I've been talking about sometimes, put that lip liner on. If you get this set, you're good to go. This is a really pretty kind of brown neutral lip combo, and I really, really love it. So highly recommend that lip kit. I've gotten a lot of use out of that lip gloss and obviously the lipstick because I've been using it so much, and it'll definitely be interesting to see if that ends up in my Shop My Stash drawers because I reach for it so often. Another shade of a product that I am actually in the midst of panning is this Huda Beauty cream lipstick in the shade Self Made. This was the only other shade in the collection that looked like it could be a brown that I would be okay with. It's a nice brown. It's not as perfect as Gold Digger, but I do really like this shade. And I think for right now, I'm going to be satisfied with this shade when I finish Gold Digger because I'm very close to finishing that. So I'm happy I have this. And yeah, I really love that formula. It's a nice kind of glossy, creamy finish. It's not overly glossy, but it gives you enough cream and enough slip that your lips don't feel uberly dry. The last kind of glossy product that I want to talk about is this Glossier lip shine. This is in the shade Trench, and this was the most neutral shade that they had when I was purchasing from this range. And this is nice. It's a nice kind of no fuss, no muss lip product. Once again, this is a product I could definitely see me throwing in a purse and not really caring about applying when I'm out and about. This is not a formula that I'm living and dying for, so I would probably go ahead and get my use out of this product, finish her up, and then just personally never pick up another product from that particular range. So I have two kind of more liquid lipstick-ish type products. So let's go with the actual liquid lipstick, M2U NYC, and they actually sent me this product for a review that I've already done, and this is in the shade Cookie. What I would say is that this liquid lipstick is interesting. It does not feel overly drying, but it can feel sticky sometimes. I found that it felt sticky on the days that I would be rushing to kind of get the liquid lipstick to dry, or I would just put too much product on. So definitely keep that in mind if you are somebody who is interested in this particular product. I do believe I have a link and an affiliate code, or maybe just a link, I don't know. Check out down below in the description box. I think this is a beautiful color, don't get me wrong, but is this the perfect and best liquid lipstick formula that I've tried? No. And last but certainly not least in the lip product collection is this from Romand. This is the dark coconut product in their, I think this is their Glasting Bombs that I've tried. I had another shade that I've already reviewed and I just forgot to take this out of my testing bin. I really like this product. I love everything about the Romand lip products. You will see that in some of the products that I recently picked up from YesStyle. Yeah, this is the Juicy Lasting Tint, and that's exactly what it is. It will give you a nice subtle tint. I found that with my skin tone, the tint is not as apparent as it is with lighter skin tones, but I still enjoy the product, and I can still know that if I can put this on, let it tint my lips for what it's going to do, and then maybe even just throw on the Lawless gloss on top. That's a look. That's a whole look right there. So I really like this product, and I will continue to kind of find more products in the Romand range that I enjoy, so that you guys can know in case you are interested. So if I had to say what product from this collection I am dying to reach for, it's gonna be the lip kit. I used it so much and I'm still very much like, ooh, I forgot I had her. I want to reach for her. So yeah, this is definitely going to be a lip kit that I can see finding its way into my Shop My Stash collection because I just reach for it so much, and that's exciting. That's exciting. So I have a couple of kind of miscellaneous stuffs to add and to be like the bridge from my true lip products to this. I have a lip liner. This is from Natasha Denona. I got the I Need a Nude lip liner in the shade Luna. This is beautiful. It's fantastic. I've never seen a lip liner last like this one. Now, I am one of those people that honestly doesn't pay attention to that all that consistently, but this baby, I just happened to be looking up and I noticed that I had a ring around my lips. I was like, what is that? It was this. It was a really nice product. It's a beautiful formula that I really enjoy. It is creamy, but not overly. I would say this is more on the lines of a creamier version of the Makeup Forever lip liner that I have been using. Yeah, this is great. This is really great. I love the color. The undertone isn't perfect. I would say this undertone is a little bit more neutral than I would prefer, but I'm really enjoying it, and this will definitely be in my top drawer immediately. Like, there's no question that's going to be up there. I also have some eyeliners to talk about. So these are two eyeliners that I have been testing out intermittently just to see how they do in my waterline. If you didn't know, my waterline is a very tough customer. So things just really don't last. And these two unfortunately did not last. So one is from Glossier, and this is in the shade Ochre. And then I have the Natasha Denona Macro Tech Eye Crayon in the shade Camu. Neither of these lasted. They both kind of applied in different levels of opacity and easiness. I would say between the two, the Natasha Denona really glided onto my waterline easier than the Glossier, but neither of them stayed put. And for me, it's really about that longevity, not even about the application that I prefer to care about. So I don't know how long these are going to be in my collection. They both are very unique colors, which is why I picked them up, and I'd never tried the formula, so I wanted to try them, but neither of them are really doing what I need eyeliners to do. So that's my opinions on that. I would love to hear if you guys have been able to get those to work and you have a similar situation eyeliner wise to me. So when I was doing my Yes Style orders during Asian Pacific Heritage Month, I picked up these two brow pencils. So one is the Pony Effect, which I believe is from Romand. I want to say this is the Romand eyeliner. Just for some reason it says Pony Effect. And this is in the shade Deep Brown. No, this is not Romand. Maybe it's the Himich. It's one of the brands that I've already tried before, but for whatever reason it says Pony Effect. Anyways, then I have this Romand, and this is their Sharp Brow in the shade Classic Gray. Both formulas are great. I actually like both formulas. I have no problems with the formulas at all. For me though, I've never been uber picky when it comes to brow formulas. As long as the shade is pretty good, I can generally make it work. And I would say that neither of these are overly waxy, but if I had to choose one that was waxier over the other, the Romand is waxier than the Pony Effect. The Pony Effect reminds me more of NYX micro brow pencil, whereas this one reminds me a little bit more of the ABH. I prefer a less waxy formula, so this one kind of wins out, even though I do have ABH formulas and I do use them. I just prefer a little bit of a less waxy formula. This also has the perfect color. I've actually been reaching for this, and I had to remember to put this in my review pile, because otherwise I would have kept this in my Shop My Stash. This is a great formula, great color for me. I really like it. Once again, the shade is in Deep Brown. This Classic Gray, it works, but it would not be something that I would recommend you to get, at least not this color. So I was able to make this work. If I keep this to the back half of my brow, it pulls off very cool tone, which yeah. And then depending on the brow pen that I use, I can just make this work. So this is something that the formula is good, whatever, but the color isn't. So I would not recommend anybody else get the Classic Gray. I do believe they have a like ash brown, black, something like that. I just believe when I wanted to try and buy these, it wasn't in stock, and so I just figured I'd try it. But yeah, I would not recommend this color. If for whatever reason I'm wrong, I would not recommend this color or that product if you are my skin tone and you like a brow very similar to how I like my brow. Two more miscellaneous kind of products. I got this puff off of YesStyle to go with my white setting powder that I picked up. I really like this puff. I like it a lot. I love the little point and the tip. I think it works beautifully. I like it. I wish now that I got more than one puff, but now that I know, I could definitely see me throwing this puff in to my next YesStyle order. It seems like I make an order every couple of months from them. So yeah, I could definitely see me getting it. And yeah, highly recommend. It was not very expensive at all. I want to say you could have gotten multiple puffs for like $2 to $5. I just chose to get the one puff because I didn't know if I was going to need it or actually want it. The last product I have to talk to you guys about today. Oh no, I have one more product. Okay, so this is the last product right now. Whatever. Anyways, next is the Hemish mascara. I really like this. I really like this mascara. It took me about 2 uses to really fall for it, but I have really fallen for it. I'm almost done with my Tower 28, and this will be the next one that I tackle. It's a really nice mascara. They tout that it has it gives you longer lash and volume. I would say you really have to let your coats dry in between to get that volume. Otherwise, you're not going to so much get a lot of volume, but I really like this. I believe I have this in like black or whatever. I really like it. I like it a lot. So the last products that I really want to talk about are these Singe brushes. You guys have been seeing me using them pretty much nonstop since I picked them up. I really think that this is a great starter set for eyeshadow. If you are somebody, you don't have any eyeshadow or you don't have any nicer eyeshadow brushes than like e.l.f., no disrespect to e.l.f. brushes, but some of them don't last and you have to continuously pick them up. And why not get a set that so far seemingly is going to last a very long time? So I got one of these sets when they had a sale at some point, and I've been using it nonstop. I have been cleaning it exclusively with my like quick and easy like settings or daily brush cleanser, and they have been working out perfectly. I haven't seen any shedding, no problems whatsoever. So I've really been enjoying them. I would say if I had to choose a shape, this is my favorite shape. This is the EO3. The actual like hairs, when I first put them on my lids, felt so soft, and I really liked that. I also just love the shape. It's big, but it also has a very slight taper, which can help if you're somebody who has difficulty putting things in the crease. All of the shapes are very nice, and I really appreciate this set. So yeah, I just wanted to give credit where credit's due. I've been using them a lot and I've been really enjoying them, and I could have reviewed them 10 times over, and now I just haven't sat down to do it. So yeah, that's all I have. I had a lot to talk about today per usual, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely check out down below. I will do my absolute best to link everything down below. I may not have the character space to also link down below the associated videos, so I would recommend checking out my videos and just searching in the search bar whatever the product is that you're interested in, then it will pop up. If I can though, I will put some videos in my cards for you guys. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.